يا بسم الله الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Doubting the two books, Bukhari and Muslim, became a model, a fashion nowadays. Besides the doubts that are given against the Quran, which didn't work. They tried hard. Didn't work. In fact, this attack against the Quran had created a curiosity in people's souls. Check and read the Quran. And the moment they start to read the Quran, they change their whole mind. So it seems to me they don't want to make attacks against the Quran so much because this will be bringing the attention of people to read the Quran. And we don't want to talk about that. As I mentioned to you, one of the brothers who used to be Christian, he said, the moment I opened the Quran, I read Surah Al-Fatiha and I said, that's it, that was enough. It's enough for me. Tabarakallah, great Allah is. That Allah set a small surah to be the first one that you begin with, and it gives you the whole summary about the whole Quran. Wallahi. Gary Miller is a Canadian one, I think you know him.
Gary
Miller, he said, the moment I started to read the face page, I said, that's it, I was looking for that. I've been looking for many years for that, and I found it. So what they do now, they start to attack this, and they did not start. In fact, we have to know that now it's easy now to search for Hadith. Before it wasn't that easy. There were many Dutch Orientalists that took a very heavy job. And I have their book, I think it's 5 big volumes or maybe more. Big volumes. The index of the Hadith. How to find any Hadith easily. They worked on that 10 years or even 20 years, and it was a heavy job. Wallahi. There was a big team working on that. What is the fruit of their efforts? Nothing. They dedicated this work in order to play their doubts against the Sunnah. But they died, and the Sunnah is still alive. The problem is when the doubts are coming against the Sunnah from our own people who say that we are Ahlul Sunnah. And they launch some words which will be doubting the whole Sunnah. Yet they call themselves Ahlul Sunnah. For example, those who say Khabar al-Ahad should not be taken in matters of doctrine. Khabar al-Ahad means the narration of the one person. It may be 2 persons, it may be 3, still Ahad. Ahad, yani individual narration, not group narration. Group narration we call mutawatir. Sequent narrators, a lot of narrators. Okay? So then let me give you an example about Khabar al-Ahad. Hadith Jibreel. إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Not Jibreel. Verily, deeds are judged by what? By intentions. This hadith is Ahad. And Bukhari, either Bukhari or Muslim, one of the two, he included this hadith to be the first of what he began his book with. So they say if the narrators are 1 or 2 or 3, not groups of narrators, then the hadith is okay. No, they started with saying it's not okay. The Mu'tazila, they said no, we don't use it, neither in doctrines nor in ruling matters of ahkam, what is halal, what is haram. And those people will be throwing on themselves a big doubt, because 99% of Bukhari and Muslim are ahad, not mutawatir. Mutawatir means, as I mentioned to you, you know the meaning of mutawatir now. 99%. Are you going to tell me that when Allah completed His religion, He did not use the mutawatir scale? He did not inspire on the companions to narrate abundantly? So now, as a result, there is no authentic hadith. Do you know that scholars said that there is no hadith mutawatir except one hadith? Like Ibn Salah. Ibn Salah is a great muhaddith. He said, I don't find any mutawatir hadith except one hadith. من كذب عليه متعمدا فليتبوأ مقعده من النار. Whoever lied intentionally against me, let him prepare himself a seat in the hellfire. That's the mutawatir. So if we doubt, if we say that the ahad are not authentic, then that means there's no sunnah. And when there's no sunnah, how can we know how many prayers we should be performing, etc., etc., etc.? Clarifying another point. Every matter of ahkam, ruling matter, it is backed by a matter of doctrine. For example, performing dhuhr 4 rak'ah, is it a matter of ahkam or doctrine? And doctrine. Because it is a matter of doctrine to believe that dhuhr prayer is 4, not 8. It's a matter of doctrine. So when those people divide the religion in this, saying this is ahkam and this is matter of aqidah, it's not true. Because matters of ahkam are based on aqidah. It's a matter of belief to say that if I'm junub, I should not be praying until I take ghusl. So this is a matter of aqidah. It's a matter of doctrine. Okay? I hope this is very clear to you. It's bid'ah to say that this is a matter of ruling and this is a matter of aqidah. It would be okay to make this kind of classifying, okay, but based on what? You should understand that also this is a matter of doctrine. If somebody stopped me and said, no, I want to pray dhuhr 6 rak'ah, then the matter becomes a matter of doctrine between me and him. It's not a matter of ahkam ruling. It's a matter of doctrine. How dare you say that your belief is wrong? The true belief is that it should be 4, not 6. So is it a matter of belief or not now? Okay. There had come after them a group called the Ash'aris. The Ash'aris said, we should be using the ahad in matter of ahkam rulings, but not in matter of aqaid doctrine. Those people will be contradicting themselves. Okay? Will be contradicting themselves. Why? Because is knowing what is halal or is haram should be through doubt or through knowledge? Knowledge and doubt are contradictory issues. You can't combine between them. It's just like water and fire. So, is it a matter of matters of ruling based on a certainty, or doubt is okay? Doubt in the whole religion is not allowed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنَّ وَإِنْ هُمْ إِلَّا يَخْرُصُونَ. They are following nothing but doubt. There's another ayah. وَإِنَّ الظَّنَّ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ شَيْئًا. And doubt does not satisfy anything from the truth. So how can we say that doubt, khabar ahad is doubtful, but it's okay in matter of ahkam, but it's not okay in matter of doctrine? You're contradicting yourself. especially when we have to face the fact that matters of ruling, it is in itself a matter of doctrine. Why do we pray at Maghrib 3 rak'ah? Why not 4? Because it's a matter of doctrine. Okay, so this is contradiction. The other contradiction is when we ask them, is what's in Bukhari and Muslim, is it doubtful hadith or definite, right? Is it doubtful or definite? They say no, it's definite, but it's doubtful. Come on. How come? You have to tell me either because 99% of Sahih Bukhari and Muslim are ahad. So how can you say yes, they are authentic, but they are not definite? They are still doubtful. You're making. Who started this? Why? This is a good question. Who started that? The Mu'tazila, they needed this because they saw that the hadith in Sunnah, they find the Prophet is describing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with many descriptions that do not fit with Aristotle. How do they call it in English? Aristotle. With the L-E. He's wrong total. He's total wrong. Today I was writing something on my Twitter and I said they are Ahlul Sunnah of Aristotle. Those are Ahlul Sunnah of Aristotle. Sunnah of Aristotle, not our Sunnah. So when they saw that there are a bunch of hadith that describe Allah with descriptions that those philosophic ancient Greek people they disagree with, like Aristotle, he says the world should be moved by the mover, and that mover, he means Allah, should not be moving, otherwise he will be affected by these lively effects, and he should not be. Okay, what else? God should not be speaking, because if he speaks, so he's making actions that are affected by lively circumstances, like he'll be feeling an emptiness, etc. They have these kinds of philosophic issues. As a result, God should not be speaking. But wait a minute. Didn't Allah say, when the Jews worship the calf, what did Allah say? أَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّهُ لَا يُكَلِّمُهُمْ وَلَا يَهْدِيهِمْ سَبِيلًا. Didn't they see when they worship the calf that it doesn't speak? It doesn't guide them away? So when Allah condemned a false god, saying to those who worshipped him, don't you see that he doesn't speak? So does God speak? To them, no, he shouldn't be speaking. So when they found these, a lot of hadith, disagree, all these hadith are going in opposition to those philosophic instructions, then they have to do what? They have to twist these hadith for the favor of philosophy. Or khabar ahad. So they said, we say they're doubtful, Mu'tazila. Because of that, another group, they disagree with that. They said, that means we have no hadith. We have only the Quran. And everything other than the Quran is doubtful. It's a problem. They made a halfway, saying, in the matter of doctrine, those hadith are doubtful. In the matter of ahkam, it's okay. But Allah said, doubt satisfies nothing from the truth. Nothing. He didn't say it satisfies ahkam but not doctrine. Allah did not say that. So who are you to permit doubting doubtful ahadith in matters of ahkam, but to say, no, you're not allowed in matters of doctrine. What is doubtful should not be neither in ahkam nor in doctrine. Neither nor. Why? Because we have a great base principle in the Quran that doubt satisfies nothing. He said nothing. How do you change nothing to something? Who are you? So, now we come to an important point. Is what's in Bukhari and Muslim ahad? The answer is no, mutawatir. I'll give you an example. Remember the issue about reciting Al-Fatiha. Do you recite behind the Imam, the public recitation, or not? Do you remember that? Muslim was asked about the narration of Abu Hurairah. The addition here, if the Imam make ruku', then you make ruku' behind him. If the Imam makes sujood, then you make sujood behind him. If he recited, then you listen to him. It's been written by the student of Muslim in the book of Muslim that he was discussing this with Imam Muslim himself, saying to him, is this hadith authentic to you? He said, yes. Muslim said, it's authentic. He said, then why didn't you include it in your book? That's in Sahih Muslim now, it's written now, there, like that. Then why didn't you include it in your book? Then Muslim said, I did not include in my book except what they had agreed upon of its authenticity. Remember this. I wanted to benefit you with this before I leave tomorrow. What did Muslim say? I did not include in my book except what they have agreed upon its authenticity. So Imam Muslim, he wrote his book for what purpose? For this. Likewise, the matter of Bukhari. Bukhari, he had something like 70,000 hadith. He said, I have picked from those 70,000 something like 4,000 without repetition, 7,000 with repetition. He said, I have taken from those authentic 70,000 only 7,000, making sure that the Ummah had agreed upon them. So we say that what's in Bukhari and Muslim is not ahad, it's mutawatir. Who said it? Not me. Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. Look, let's begin. Ibn Salah, in his Muqaddimah, the Muqaddimah of Ibn Salah is the best book and the earliest book about hadith. Look what he said in his book التقييد والإيضاح, page 41. وما اتفق عليه البخاري ومسلم جميعه مقطوع به. What had Bukhari and Muslim agreed upon of hadith, it's all had been definitely, absolutely agreed upon. وَالْعِلْمُ الْيَقِينِيُّ النَّظَرِيُّ وَاقِعٌ بِهِ. And the yaqeen, you know, saying of yaqeen, is the highest kind of what? Absolute knowledge. Certitude. The highest certitude. علم يقيني. خلافا لقول من نفى ذلك. In opposition to someone who denied this fact. محتجا بأنه لا يفيد في أصله إلا الظن, claiming thereby that it does not indicate except doubt. The Bukhari and Muslim. وإنما تلقته الأمة بالقبول. Certainly the whole Ummah had accepted those two books by acceptance and approval. The whole Ummah. Now you tell me, does the Ummah agree on falsehood, misguidance? It cannot be. Is the Sahabi Ma'soom, infallible? Yes or no? Sahabi? No. Is the Sahabi infallible?
On his own?
just give me answer, please. Please, Akhi. Don't let me get angry. Yes. Huh? Your answer is right. But I mean something sometimes when I... So answer my question. One Sahabi on his own, is he infallible? The answer is no. Okay. Now get my other question. Are the Sahaba infallible or not? The answer is yes. The Sahaba as whole, when they agree on something, what? They are masoom. You got my point now? Yes. When the Sahaba agree on something, their agreement is masoom. They can't agree on misguidance. Allah will be using one of them, some of them, to disagree when there's something wrong. Okay? Likewise is the Ummah. The Ummah will not be agreeing on. That's why I like what Ash-Shafi'i did. Ash-Shafi'i, he said, if there is a certain interpretation of the ayah, okay, or something to be done, whether this is allowed to be done, which had not been done before, he said, if the whole Ummah agreed on it, then it's okay. And I use this against people who say bid'ah is allowed. We say to them, stop it, stop. We say to them, we disagree with you that there's good bid'ah and bad bid'ah. We disagree. Aren't we from the Ummah or not? So what we say to them, you have only way out, okay, to prove yourself. They say, by what? To say we are kafir, we are not of the Ummah. Just say it, and you may get a point. But you have to be careful. You're making us kafir. Be careful. They fall in trouble. You have to be smart. That just like what I did in one of my debates. When some people were saying, no, there's good bid'ah. So I said, can I make adhan? I said, yes. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Rasulullah. The man said to me, oh, wait a minute. Oh, why did you say that? I said, I'm making salah on Rasulullah in the adhan. He said, haram? He said, but that's not the way to make adhan. I said, this is good bid'ah. I'm making salah. When I mention the Prophet, I'm making salah. Don't you do that when you mention the Prophet? Don't you make salah? Then I said, Hayya ala khayr al-amal. He said, what? Hayya ala khayr al-amal, prepare for the good work. I said, yes. The Prophet said, وَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ خَيْرَ أَعْمَالِكُمُ الصَّلَاةِ. And you should know that the best of your actions are salah. So I'm saying that, I'm adding this. He said, you should not add. I said, what about you? Why you should add? Or, I brought two papers. Every bid'ah is misguidance. Not every bid'ah is misguidance. And I put the two papers. I did that, subhanAllah, to one of those who were defending bid'ah. I said, which one you choose? He said, I choose the first. I said, thank you, debate is over. Here, every bid'ah is misguidance. He can't oppose the Prophet. The Prophet said it. Every innovation is misguidance. He can't say no. If he say no, he's not Muslim. Not every bid'ah is misguidance. Huh? Pick and choose. He can't say anything. He has to say this one. So I said, thank you. He said, yes, this one, but we have our understanding to it. I said, go away. I don't care about it. Put your understanding in your pocket. Or throw it in the garbage. I don't care about your understanding. Put it in the trash there. Put your understanding in your trash. I don't care about your understanding. You have agreed, khalas. You have agreed with this. Go. I don't need you anymore. I need the layman people. Those are my target, not you. You are deviant, leader of deviance. So what the Ummah agree cannot be misguidance. And Ibn Salah here said that beautiful word. And Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, who is not Wahhabi, he's Asqalani, not Wahhabi, he agreed on that. He said that the agreement about Bukhari and Muslim by the Ummah is ever greater than Mutawatir, because of the agreement of the Ummah on it. Why do we say that today? Because they bring these doubts now. They say, you know what, it seems that you're qualifying Bukhari and Muslim. They're human beings, you know. Go, you imitator, blind follower. You want to teach us. Are you giving us warning not to qualify people? We don't qualify people. No, we know that Bukhari and Muslim are human beings. But the whole Ummah's approval is behind the work of Bukhari and Muslim. The Ummah is ma'soom. Bukhari is not ma'soom. That's why I was asking you. Is the Sahabi ma'soom? No. Are the Sahaba ma'soomin? Yes. When they agree on a matter. Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi, he said what Ibn Salah said about what Bukhari and Muslim are maqtu'un bi-sahhati, are definite, its credibility is definite, is what I accept. I agree with him, with Ibn Salah. Yeah. As-Sakhawi. As-Sakhawi said, Ibn Salah had been preceded by many scholars who said the same thing. It's not only Ibn Salah. As-Sakhawi is the student of Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. And by the way, those who tackled Ibn Taymiyyah, As-Sakhawi had written a book which was, he was ordered to write it while Ibn Hajar was mentioning it to him. It's called Al-Jawahir wal-Durar fi Taqridat Ibn Hajar. And he was praising, giving reference to a book that was defending Ibn Taymiyyah. الرد الوافر على من زعم أن من قال بأن شيخ ابن تيمية شيخ الإسلام فهو كافر. This is one of the fanatic people. He wrote a book that whoever said in his book, he said that whoever described Ibn Taymiyyah that he is Shaykh al-Islam, he is kafir. So Ibn Nasir al-Din al-Dimashqi in his book Al-Radd al-Wafir, he refuted him. Then Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani was praising that book, saying what Ibn Nasir al-Din al-Dimashqi defended is true, because yes, Ibn Taymiyyah is Shaykh al-Islam without doubt. That's what Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani said. And that brings people, really outraged people who are tackling Ibn Taymiyyah. We say to them, Ibn Hajar, he is the Emir, as the Pakistanis, you know, their accents like, the Emir of the Muhaddithin. They say Ibn Hajar is the Emir of the Muhaddithin. He's not Wahhabi, he's not Salafi, he's not, but he was praising Ibn Taymiyyah. He said how happy the Rafida, the Shia, will be when they find someone accusing this man that he is kafir. Because this man didn't let them sleep because of his refutation and his great book. This book, Minhaj al-Sunnah, I'm really upset with those who like Ibn Taymiyyah, but until now they did not translate his book. This book shredded the cult of Shia, because he said to them, you know nothing about Isnad, you have nothing of Isnad. This word only, that you people have, you don't know anything about chain of narration, it caused them to innovate a new cult called the Usuliyun. They say we have to care for Isnad. He caused them this trouble. And when they went to this, they contradicted themselves, and they found out that this caused them a bigger trouble. Because Ibn Taymiyyah said, Al-Isnad is the honor of this ummah. that had not been found before them. No one cared about something called isnad except in this ummah. It's the honor of this ummah. In his book, Fath al-Bari, he was talking about a narration. Silly narration. It's called كان الله ولا مكان وهو الآن على ما عليه كان. Have you heard of that before? Allah was while there was no place, and now He is as He was. By Allah, I know that those Brahmins and others, they always quote this as the pillar of their doctrine. Allahu Akbar. What Ibn Hajar said. He said this narration has no place in the books of Hadith. Had never been written in any of the books of Hadith. نبه على ذلك العلامة ابن تيمية. Allama means the high greatest scholar. Ibn Taymiyyah had notified this fact. He had given this notification. وهو مسلم له في قوله. And what he said is really complied upon. It is accepted what he said. I approve what Ibn Taymiyyah said. The Allama. It's not Alim, Allama. So he's giving him high reference of knowledge. In where is that? Yeah. Fath al-Bari, volume number 6, page 289. In the publication of Maktab al-Salafiyya, I think, and the footnote was given some explanations by Sheikh Ibn Baz rahimahullah. In this version of Fath al-Bari, you can find that. He's praising Ibn Taymiyyah. And nowadays, it became a fashion, attacking Ibn Taymiyyah. Yeah, because this is a Shia fashion nowadays. They hire people. They hire the conscience of people. That's what's happening. So what do we say about Ibn Hajar? We said, yes, Ibn Taymiyyah is Shaykh al-Islam, and there is no doubt. So if Ibn Hajar is a credited person, I mean, those people who tackle Ibn Taymiyyah cannot say that Ibn Hajar is also misguided. Cannot say. Because they say he's Ash'ari as well. While he's not. I'm not going to drift you. I have 6 evidences to prove that Ibn Hajar has nothing to do with Ash'aris. 6 big evidences. I have read most of his book Fath al-Bari, and I was summarizing it when I was at your age. I was almost finishing it, making a big summary of Fath al-Bari. But with my circumstance, I could not collect it and make it in one book. Anyway, what Ibn Hajar say about Bukhari and Muslim? Let this be a stone to stone whoever throw doubt against Bukhari and Muslim. Or those who say only the Wahhabis, they say that everything in Bukhari and Muslim should be accepted. We have the Amir of Ahl al-Hadith, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. He says, الخبر المحتف بالقرائن قد يفيد العلم خلافا لمن أبى ذلك. I have written one tweet statement yesterday. I said I was laughing at those who say you should not divide Tawheed into 3 categories. But it's allowed to divide Bid'ah into 2 categories. It's okay. Don't divide Tawheed, but divide Bid'ah, it's okay. They're contradictory. So, he said, the Hadith, even if it's Ahad, there are various kinds of Ahad, not one. But there are other factors prove that this Ahad is highly definite, not only normally definite. منها, among those Ahad, ما أخرجه الشيخان في صحيحيهما مما لم يبلغ التواتر. What Bukhari and Muslim had narrated, which did not reach the level of mutawatir. فإنه احتف به قرائن. there are evidences prove the high authenticity of Bukhari and Muslim. Why? Number one, جلالتهما في هذا الشأن. They are highly qualified about the matter of hadith. They are highly respected among all scholars. That they are the highest in searching for the authenticity of the hadith. They are well known with this. وتقدمهما في تمييز الصحيح على غيرهما. And they have been preceded to be the primary kind of scholars in detecting the authentic hadith and giving it priority. وتلقي العلماء لكتابيهما بالقبول. And all other scholars, they have decided to approve and accept the two books of those two men. All scholars. Who's saying that? Ibn Hajar. وهذا التلقي وحده, this kind of undertaking, أقوى في إفادة العلم من مجرد كثرة الطرق القاصرة على التواتر. This approval of the scholars, this agreement among all scholars to accept those two men and their two books, is more evidential of knowledge than the credibility of mutawatir. It is higher credible than the credibility which is confined to the matter of mutawatir. فالإجماع, this is very important. Ibn Hajar said, فالإجماع حاصل على تسليم صحته. The ijma' had been occurred already about the consensus, had been occurred already about their authenticity, the two books. He mentioned it is in his book, Sharh al-Nukhbah, page number 5, and As-Suyuti quoted this statement of Ibn Hajar in his book, Tadrib al-Rawi, volume 1, page 133. As-Suyuti said, this is what I accept and I choose nothing but it. And many other scholars. Muhammad Anwar al-Kashmiri al-Deobandi, he also accepted it. Do you want, since his name is involved, Deobandi, we would like to tell you what he said. خبر الصحيحين يفيد القطع. The narration of the two Sahihain, Sahih of Bukhari and Muslim, it indicates al-qata'. Qata' means absolute authenticity. فإن قيل إن فيهما أحادا, if someone said that they contain ahad, قلت, Anwar al-Kashmiri al-Deobandi, he says, قلت لا ضير في هذا, there is no harm in this, باعتبار الأصل, وذلك بعد احتفاف القرائن واعتضاد الطرق, فلا يحصل القطع إلا لأصحاب الفن الذين يسر الله لهما سبحانه التمييز ورزقهما علما من أحوال الرواة. He said it doesn't harm, since we have put in consideration the other factors to prove the authenticity by knowing those two men whom we know their high quality of selecting what is authentic. And the proof of that is what I mentioned to you. When Muslim was asked, why didn't you include this hadith in your Sahih if you believe it's Sahih? He said, I believe it's Sahih, but I decided not to include in my book except what they have agreed about its authenticity. So it seems that, and this hadith, it has a slight weakness, supported by other narration, by the way. If the Imam recite, you keep silent. But it doesn't harm this hadith. If let's say it's not authentic. Allah said, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ فَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ, in another ayah, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا. The ayah support this hadith of Abu Hurairah. The ayah supports it. Okay? But it's sufficient to me. If Muslim said it's authentic, it's sufficient to me. And now, what he said is our proof today. He said, I did not include in my book except what they have agreed upon its authenticity. Based on that, we say the authenticity of Bukhari and Muslim is higher than the matter of mutawatir. Who said that? Not me only. Ibn Hajar said it. Ibn Salah said it. Muhammad Anwar al-Kashmiri said it. Ibn al-Wazir said it. Muhammad ibn Ismail al-San'ani said the same thing. He said Bukhari and Muslim متقدم على غيرهما لتلقي الأمة لهما بالقبول, has the preference over all the other books because the Ummah had agreed their two books. The whole Ummah. Every scholar is saying that. Al-Banuri al-Hanafi, Abu al-Hasan al-Nadawi, Al-Hafiz al-Aini, who else? Ahmad Waliullah al-Dahlawi al-Hanafi, he said the same thing. Al-Qadi Iyad al-Maliki. Also, in another place, Ibn Hajar repeated it. وَتَلَقِّي الْعُلَمَاء كِتَابَيْهِمَا بِالْقَبُولِ. النووي said it. النووي said اتفق العلماء على أن أصح الكتب بعد القرآن العزيز الصحيحان البخاري ومسلم وتلقتهما الأمة بالقبول. النووي said that all scholars had agreed that the most authentic book after the Quran are the two books of Bukhari and Muslim, and the whole Ummah had accepted them in qabul wa taslim, in approval and acceptance, full acceptance. As-Sakhawi said it, Ibn Najjar al-Hanbali said it, Ibn Taymiyyah said it. We don't need Ibn Taymiyyah anymore. We have their own scholars, but we need him for us. Azz-ad-Din al-Zaydi, Hamza ibn Qasim, a lot. I have more and more and more. So those two books, if somebody said to you, who told you? Now we know who told us. Not Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, but Ibn Hajar, Ibn Salah, Sakhawi, even Muhammad Anwar Shah, Deobandi, all the scholars, they said the Ummah had accepted those two books in qabul, approval, acceptance. What taslim? Taslim, that means giving signature on a plain paper for Bukhari and Muslim. So I hope inshallah this was beneficial to you. Barakallahu feekum.